Welcome to the 27th Annual Patron Celebration.
We're so glad that you're able to join us as we return to the Chattahoochee River.
We're so glad you're with us and for your support. Please enjoy the silent auction, the Fund the Future, and have a great evening.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Chattahoochee Riverkeepers Membership Director, and I wanted to talk about our exciting silent auction. We've got tons of packages, from outdoor adventures and fishing trips to concerts and local art. There really is something for everyone, and it's so easy to bid. Whether you're watching from home or at the stay room, bid from your phone by texting CRK 2021 to 76278.
Captain Pete Hughes from Bravo 311 OCS. We're just here to support the Chattahoochee River Keepers and really give back to the community that supports Officer Candidate School and the U.S. Army here at Fort Benning, Georgia. Just really thought this was a great opportunity. Collected a lot of trash here. You can see here in just a little over just a couple hours, but really appreciated the opportunity to support the community.
How does it feel? How does it feel? It feels great, sir. It feels fantastic. Cleaning up the river one shopping cart at a time. There's one more.
I'm Sally Bethay, founding director of Chattahoochee River Keeper. When we embarked on our journey to save the Chattahoochee River in 1994, we didn't fully understand all of the challenges that we would face, that it would require so many people, just like you, to stand with us, to demand that our river be saved and restored. Today, the Chattahoochee River is dramatically cleaner. Billions of dollars have been spent to stop the pollution and restore this precious waterway. Chattahoochee River Keeper leveraged funds raised, developed partnerships, and engaged people just like you. This work must continue. Riverkeeper must remain vigilant. Please help us continue your story with a planned gift. Your legacy will be clean water, safeguarding the Chattahoochee River, its people, and wildlife for generations to come. Thank you.
Hey everybody, my name is Ashley DeCincy and I'm the Chattahoochee River Keeper. So I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk to everyone a little bit about myself. So I grew up recreating on the Chattahoochee River and its tributaries. My family and I, we fished, hiked, camped all along the river as a child, and as I've gotten older and going to college, I've actually done a lot of work on the water, especially with the shoal spider lily that you can see behind. So we're out here today on Flat Shoals Creek to talk to you a little bit about our new campaign, which is called Out on the Dooch. And so really for me, growing up on the river, everything was fine until I came out. So I came out as lesbian at 15 years old, and I realized that I was a little different, and because of those differences, I noticed that when I'd go out and be out on the water, just trying to be who I am, that there was a lot of judgment from others. And so when I started with CRK, I realized that our mission is to provide enough clean water for all people. And so I wanted to take that message and really make it for all people. And so this Out on the Hooch campaign is designed to really have our membership become reflective of the true diversity that's in our watershed. And that includes the LGBTQ plus population and our allies. And so really what we want to do with this campaign is get everyone out on the water and make it a safe place for people to recreate on the Chattahoochee River and on these smaller tributaries like Flat Shoals Creek. So really what we want to see is everyone getting hashtag Out on the Hooch.
The Neighborhood Water Watch program has been a huge success and has stopped dozens of major sewage spills from flowing into streams in neighborhoods and parks and going into the Chattahoochee River. When we get high levels of E. coli in one of the samples collected by our volunteers, we actually put on waders and jump into these streams to track the source of where that high level is coming from.
Well, we're here at this overflowing manhole, and it looks like we found our source. This water will test 1,000 times the EPA safety standard for water recreation, and this tributary right here leads directly into South Utoy Creek. We're about 2.5 miles upstream from Cascade Springs Nature Preserve.
This is the Utoy Creek watershed. I actually grew up in this watershed. I'm a native Atlantan. I'm Makita Browning. I am the Consent Decree Program Director for Department of Watershed, City of Atlanta. The Chattahoochee Riverkeeper organization and the City of Atlanta have forged a very collaborative and positive bond where the Riverkeeper organization notifies us when there's sewer overflows or any water quality issues throughout the city system.
This has become like a very important thing to me. I didn't expect it to impact me this way. I took to this thing and I absolutely enjoy sampling the water and bringing it back to know what's in it. I probably had 2 or 3 contamination issues on 2 of my sample spots. And in my community where I know 3 of the samplers, we probably had 5 or 6. If it wasn't for us out here doing this, and I mean, it's a broad range of membership out here trying to collect as much water as we can, we wouldn't know half of what's going on in our river and waterways.
We had the idea just to protect the Chattahoochee, and because we use it so much. And so I set up a team of volunteers to take the samples. About a dozen people work on the team, and each one takes 1 sample a week.
Well, I'm kind of a data wonk, so I really enjoy looking at the data that we gather.
Our volunteers actually become water quality ambassadors for the local community where that waterway is flowing. Some streams are stigmatized as being always polluted, and we're finding that that's not always the case. Some of these streams are actually much cleaner than they had originally thought, and we're able to bring that to light within the community so people can embrace these waterways and treat them as the real treasure that they are for the local community.
It's easy to participate in the program. We provide you with all the materials. We get you out in the stream. We get you trained on how to collect your water sample. Then you can drop off the sample at one of our 3 locations in Atlanta, LaGrange, or Gainesville.
You realize that nature is so resilient. If we just give it half a chance, Riverkeeper is one of those organizations that tries to give it half a chance.
Hi, I'm Jason Alsop, your Chattahoochee River Keeper. I've been boating and fishing on the beautiful Chattahoochee all of my life, and I've seen how the river system has changed over the decades. Today, thanks to a riverkeeper organization keeping watch, this river is cleaner than it has been in decades, but our work is far from done. With an ever-growing population, the threats to this river system are changing each and every year. The Chattahoochee River is the smallest river that provides a water supply to a major metropolitan city in the entire country, and it needs your help. When you make a planned gift, you are making sure that we will always have a river keeper keeping watch over this river to ensure that we have enough clean water for now and future generations.
You hear that?
Yeah.
There's a huge rupture under the water. Mike Meyer from Chattahoochee Riverkeeper. We're here on Henderson Mill Creek looking for the source of, it looks like we had some bleaching or all the bacteria has been kind of wiped out in our tests. So getting 0 bacteria in our tests. And we've been tracking that upstream using our fluorometer that measures optical brighteners, and that's telling us where we might find our source. When we have low optical brighteners, we're getting close. So that actually led us to this area right here behind me, where it looks like there's actually a broken sewer line. It looks like a main line that runs through here, causing some issues in this creek. So we'll get this reported right away.
Let's check out our smart trash trap on Anawake Creek. Not only does this help us collect trash, there's a little bit right there, but it also helps us collect valuable water quality data. This is a temperature and conductivity probe. The probe stays underwater 24/7, but the data cord actually runs all the way to the shore and ends up at this box. This box is actually at the heart of our smart trash trap. It's called CASI, which stands for Chattahoochee Aquatic Sensor System Integrated. Water quality data runs up this cable, through the side of the box, and into the board. It basically takes data from the probe, and using a wireless modem, it transmits it to a web portal. This solar panel attaches to this blue battery, which powers all the brains. Once processed, the data runs through this cable and up to an antenna at the top of this tree. We do all this because sudden changes in temperature or conductivity could indicate some kind of pollution event. So with our CASI remote monitoring system, we're able to understand what's happening in the creek, even when we're back at the office.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The evening's program is about to begin. Please find your table. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in the main dining room. Our event is about to begin. The curtains are open. Join us into the dining room. Our show will begin in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the other room, please join us in the dining room. Our event is about to begin. Please join us in the main dining room for our dinner and our fundraiser.
tonight's benefit auctioneer, the one, the only, Dean Crownover.
All right, everybody, come on in. Come on in and grab your table. I'm just going to dance up here. If you love Chattahoochee Riverkeeper, make some noise. Come on in, grab your table, everybody. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dean Crownover, your auctioneer, your MC for tonight. Come on in, grab a table. Now, you have to be on your best behavior. Do you know why? Because for the first time ever, we are doing a hybrid event, meaning we have you in our room here at the Stave Room Live, and we have hundreds, maybe millions of people online watching. So everybody turn to that camera back there, wave and say hello. Our hybrid event is a first time, and we're very excited about it. So, if you are going to give or bid here in the room, that's very simple. When we get to the Fund the Future, you have your bidder numbers, your bid paddles, you're going to use it in the room. If you are at home when we get to the Fund the Future, just follow my lead. You're going to see buttons pop up at the levels that you can give at, and you can hit it then. If you can't wait, go ahead and make your donation now. But all of you need to be bidding in the silent auction, which closes at 7:55, so less than an hour. You can bid all during dinner, and I want you to go to item number 500 right now. That's a very special item that you're going to hear a lot more about, but we want you bidding on it now. And also under categories, if there are items with no bids, the category is items with no bids, go to that now. And if you're here in the room, you can access the silent auction on your phone. You can do it at home the same way. But again, for the Fund the Future, if you're in the room, you're going to use your bid paddles. If you're at home, your phone. Does everybody understand? Say yes. Now, it is my pleasure to bring up the Executive Director of Chattahoochee Riverkeeper, Juliet Cohen, and Jason Allset, the Chattahoochee Riverkeeper himself.
Good evening. We are live here at the Stave Room in Atlanta and broadcasting to our friends at home. And to all of our guests, welcome to the 27th Annual Patron Celebration. Tonight, we are pleased to unveil our new logo and brand. We're grateful to Cox Enterprises and Idea Bar for their tremendous support in design services. Our new logo and brand signify our mission as a watchdog for the Chattahoochee River, while also representing our unique style of being friendly yet determined. Thanks to our sponsors, we can take this time to celebrate our accomplishments and recommit to our mission to secure enough clean water for now and for future generations. I want to express our appreciation to all of the major sponsors shown on the screen you just saw, and an extra special thank you to our presenting sponsors, Cox Conserves, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and Colonial Pipeline.
Good evening. Thank you all for being here, either here in person or virtually. Throughout the challenges of the last year, we have sought out ways to return to the river, and that's been our theme for the past 12 months. While COVID has presented us so many challenges and losses, It could not keep us from embracing the lifeblood of our region, the Chattahoochee River. The Chattahoochee has also experienced many challenges over the years, and it has shown us how it can return to health if we give it the chance. Once polluted with millions of gallons of raw sewage, the Chattahoochee River downstream of the city of Atlanta is now cleaner than it has been in decades, and people are returning to it. Earlier this year, we celebrated with the Department of Natural Resources in the city of Chattahoochee Hills as they built a new boat ramp in a stretch of river that was once written off because it was too polluted for safe public access. We also joined partners with the Trust for Public Land to design a 100-mile connected riverside trail from Beaufort Dam all the way down to Chattahoochee Bend State Park, a vision once thought to be impossible. And much further downstream, tens of thousands of people return to the river every year in the recently designed whitewater course in Columbus. But a big pollution problem has continued to plague the river there. That's the city of Columbus's Columbus Waterworks combined sewer system, which has allowed raw sewage to pour into the river for decades after heavy rains without consequence. Chattahoochee Riverkeeper, along with our partners at the Southern Environmental Law Center, have been engaged in a tough legal battle with Columbus Waterworks, and we put it into the pollution. On Tuesday this week, we received the wonderful news that we did prevail. The judge ruled in our favor, and Columbus's permit is now to pollute is now over. I've been here for 14 years, and this is one of the greatest victories that we've had.
During the challenges of the past year, we all looked for silver linings. We wouldn't be willing to work day in and out in the environmental movement if we were anything but hopeful. And one positive outcome has been the outpouring of volunteers supporting our trash-free Chattahoochee initiatives. During the past year and a half, we have had more volunteers participate in trash cleanups than at any time before. So far this year, we have removed 55 tons of trash, tires, and recyclables from the watershed with the help of nearly 2,000 volunteers. We are also taking steps to clearly position our organization as one that is inclusive of all communities that live, work, and play in the watershed. Since our inception, we have directed our programs and resources to underserved communities in the Chattahoochee, from stopping sewage overflows, removing trash and tires from illegal dumps, providing scholarships for students, stipends for volunteers. We have provided these programs and resources in communities of color and for low-income families. We are continuing to identify new and meaningful ways to reach and include historically underrepresented populations in our mission. Credit for these accomplishments and much more is due to the leadership of our board of directors and the hard work of our staff. Will you all please stand to be recognized, our board and staff? I want to take one moment to remember someone we lost this year, but who will always be remembered by our environmental community. Bonnie Jackson, who was a volunteer, an employee, a supporter, and a great friend to the Chattahoochee River. Our river faces many threats. Perhaps one of the greatest is the legacy of burning coal for hundreds of years to supply power to our region. Today, there are 30 million tons of coal ash waste stored along the Chattahoochee River. How and where this toxic waste will be permanently stored is a question we are grappling with today. We are working with the Georgia Water Coalition to employ agency decision makers and the regulated community to take the necessary precautions to store the contaminants away from our waters. We cannot leave this problem for our children and our grandchildren to suffer. In the next few months, we will alert you to opportunities for public comment to weigh in on decisions that our state will be making. Please respond and let your voices be heard for clean water.
And like coal ash, some of the threats to our river system are well known, yet others are just emerging. For the first time ever this year, we identified harmful algal blooms in multiple locations along the Chattahoochee River. While the bacteria that causes these harmful algal blooms is natural and occurs all over the world, we may be seeing excess growth of them here at home as our populations grow, our pollution sources increase, and temperature levels continue to rise. Not too long ago, climate change was thought to be a threat for the next generation to deal with. But we are quickly learning that is already having impacts now, both globally and here locally. Just this year, we saw record flooding all over the country. Places like Tennessee and New York experienced impacts like never before, and people are dying from it. Flooding, of course, is nothing new, but these types of storms are happening more frequently and more intensely. Just think back to last fall when we received back-to-back hurricanes, all following a similar track and all within just a few weeks. I'm still seeing the effects of those particular storms on the Chattahoochee as I boat by the erosion every week. But we are finding ways to help the river adapt with things like green infrastructure, which help reduce the impacts and effects of all the hard surfaces we've built throughout the watershed. We're also proud of the work that our friends at Georgia Drawdown are doing to find new solutions to reduce our impacts in climate change. Decades ago, the greatest threat to the Chattahoochee was Atlanta's aging sewer infrastructure. Today, it's the stormwater runoff from these storms that wash pollutants off of our roads, parking lots, industrial and construction sites, and even our own yards, and into tributaries and into the Chattahoochee River after every heavy rain. Chattahoochee Riverkeeper, we do have robust programs to address each of these sources, but we still find high levels of E. coli in the river after major storms, and it is a public health threat. Here in Metro Atlanta, we are so very lucky to have the Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area right in our own backyards. This 48-mile stretch of river receives 3 million visitors every single year, and of those 3 million people, 1.3 of them go on the river and participate in water-based recreation. I mean, they are actually coming in contact with this water, and it's important that we help keep them safe. So knowing the threat of stormwater pollution and the resulting E. coli that can rise in the river, we helped create the Bacteria Alert Program in partnership with the National Park Service and the United States Geological Survey to notify park visitors when bacteria levels might be unsafe. This year, we actually celebrated the 20th anniversary of this program and keeping millions of park visitors safe every single year. So let's watch a video about that program.
The Bacteria Alert program started in 2001 under then Vice President Al Gore as a federal initiative to establish partnerships to help with water quality issues. The Chattahoochee Bacteria Alert program specifically focuses on the Chattahoochee River below Lake Lanier through the Chattahoochee River National Recreational Area.
There are water quality gauges at 3 locations on the river that are collecting data on the clarity of the water. And so what the USGS has done is created a model that correlates the clarity of the water with the amount of bacteria in the river. So every week, Chattahoochee Riverkeeper goes out to these locations and collects a water quality sample for bacteria. It is correlated with the real-time estimates of turbidity, and that produces an estimate of the E. coli level in the river.
Traditional tests for E. coli or other types of bacteria take about a day for you to get the results. So we always knew that you shouldn't have gone on the river yesterday, but we didn't know that data in real time. And what this program does is it allows people to know at the same time that they're going on the river if those bacteria levels are safe or not. And this model is being looked at to be replicated all across the country.
While the Chattahoochee River is safe to recreate in a majority of the time, there are instances when it can be unsafe due to fecal contamination.
If Bacteria Alert didn't exist, I don't really know what we would do. We check it numerous times a day. It's one of the first things I check in the morning when I get up, just to make sure that everything is safe and within operating levels. If it wasn't a system or it wasn't a program, I don't know how we would operate properly.
Not all river users, I think, know about this program and use it. So please tell your friends, tell your local governments that support this program to help fund it, because it is an expensive program. It's expensive to do the water quality testing. It's expensive to maintain the real-time sensors that are in the river. And so, all of those things are really important to keeping the program going for another 20 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the owner of Unicoi Outfitters and supporter of Chattahoochee Riverkeeper, Mr. Jimmy Harris.
Glad to have you here tonight. We were a little bit frazzled coming down from Habersham County. Weren't sure about what the traffic would be like, the weather would be like. And on top of that, I walked out of the house, jumped in the car with my wife, Kathy, and she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "What are you wearing?" I said, "They told me it was business casual." I had on my overalls and no shoes. And for those of you that are watching on TV or here tonight that say, "That's not Jimmy Harris up there," they wouldn't let me wear my baseball cap. No one that I've ever met on the river has seen me without a baseball cap. So you guys are in for a treat tonight. So they asked me to say a few words about Becca Powell. And I don't know how many of you know Becca personally, but the first time I ever met her was in this building. And I didn't know who she was. I didn't even know exactly why I was here, but I had been invited to come to an event called Down the Hatch for Orvis. It was a fundraiser for Chattahoochee Riverkeeper. And I walked in the door and I immediately knew who was in charge here. And if you know Becca, you know what I'm talking about. Interestingly enough, I was at the very first meeting in Atlanta as a representative of Georgia Trout Unlimited, where there was a discussion about forming the Riverkeeper. Had the Hudson Riverkeeper from New York down to give us advice and everything. And so I've known from day one that we shared similar missions. Myself personally, my company, and Chattahoochee Riverkeeper and all their employees. But it wasn't until Becca came on the scene that I got my hands dirty, so to speak. I was always it was always kind of, okay, you do your thing down there, I'll do my thing up in Helen, and hopefully we'll do a pretty good job of protecting the resource. You can't stand by on the sidelines when Becca's in charge. You have to get involved. I've never known anyone like her in my life. The first time I ever got to really know her, she was involved with putting together a great video called Quality Hooch a few years ago. And I can't remember if she contacted me or if Justin Powell contacted me, but they were working together on this effort, and they wanted to know, could they come up and see what there was, to see what could be included from the upper section of the Chattahoochee River in this Quality Hooch video. And I, of course, invited them to come on up and let's fish in the afternoon. So I think maybe Becca, that might have been one of the first few times she had been fishing. And let me tell you, she took to it. I mean, she bought in to fly fishing. And what I didn't know was, well, let me just explain what happened. Becca had landed a big fish. Justin landed it for her. I was downstream a few feet taking pictures and just really kind of enjoying being there with them. So I'm looking down at my camera and I look back up and she and Justin are standing on a rock in the middle of the river and they're locked up kissing. My first reaction was to scream out, "There's no kissing in fly fishing." Then my second thought was, there's an old axiom in the fly fishing world: never, ever attempt to teach a loved one how to cast a fly rod. And I just thought right then, Justin, you're in for it. You're in over your head. But not only did she take to fly fishing and the connection it gives you to the resource, but she became very, very good at it. She's probably one of a half dozen people I've known in the 40 some odd years I've been fly fishing and been in the fly fishing business that took to it in such a way that just months from her picking up the first fly rod, she was good enough to teach people how. She was good enough to be a guide. She became one of my favorite anglers and one of my favorite people. And I love her to death. She's the reason we're all here tonight. I don't know if you know that, but she's the one that puts this event on. She's the one that gets everybody to come to participate in it. The thing I like about her is there's no pretense about Becca. It's just pure enjoyment of life, an enjoyment of her job, an enjoyment of fly fishing, an enjoyment of passing it on to the next generation. And she's one of the best. She's a typical underachiever. Let me just mention a couple of things. She's obviously the development director of Chattahoochee Riverkeeper. She is a member of Georgia Women Fly Fishers. She is a member and an active participant in United Women on the Fly, which is an outreach to get more women into the fly fishing world. She's the same thing with the Orvis 50-50 program, which strives to get 50% of the anglers on our waters to be women. She's on the forefront of those outreach programs. She's a volunteer for Casting for Recovery. Casting for Recovery, if you're not familiar with it, is a program designed to introduce women who are battling breast cancer in any stage currently being treated for it, in remission, or whatever, to spend a weekend in a retreat that introduces them to fly fishing. And I will tell you, as a volunteer there myself, it's one of the most moving things I've ever been a part of. To be helping someone who doesn't have the energy to stand in a river to fish, but you take a chair into the river and they sit there and they have the experience of their lifetime. I get goosebumps thinking about it. She's also the assistant editor of Done Magazine. Done Magazine is a fly fishing magazine that is directed towards women. And if she didn't have enough there on her platter, she created the All Girls Fish program, which I think in 2019 was our first year of hosting that at Unicoi Outfitters. And I think we maybe had a dozen, maybe 15 young girls participating in it. We couldn't have it last year, but this year, this fall, if I'm got the number correct, we're going to host 41 young ladies. And they come from all over the country. So this is just an inkling of the things that Becca does in her job, in her community, as an outreach. She even recently, in the last couple of years, established her own organization called Reeling in Recovery, which reaches out to men and women who are battling drug and alcohol abuse, and they're trying to recover. And there she is out there leading the way. When someone came up with the phrase, pass it on, they must have had Becca in mind. She is passing on every bit of energy and enthusiasm and dedication that she has in every area of her life to the next generation. And I think we couldn't be more fortunate to have her not only here helping to save and improve the Chattahoochee, but in all of these other outreach programs that she's involved with. And I'd like to give her a round of applause. There's more to come on Becca, but if I've got the schedule correct, we're going to see a short slideshow right now, about 2 minutes.
I'm Becca K. Powell, and I am 38 years old. There was a point, I guess it was in 2018, where I saw some issues in my community that I wanted to address. One being getting young women out on the water. Every time I go to the river, I'd see dads and their sons. And I had that sense of peace with my personal experience. I wanted to share it with young women too. So I reached out to Jen Ripple with Done Magazine and Heather Hodson with United Women on the Fly and said, hey, I have this idea. What do you think? And they jumped in with both feet. So we hosted the first ever all girls fish up at Unicoi in Helen. And again, an incredible day. I still get messages from those young ladies to this day that telling me how much that experience changed their lives. Little Deegan, she had picked up a fly rod and she was doing it with her father, and you know, she wasn't being introduced to other girls who were involved with fly fishing. or like to go out on the water and fish. So she came all the way from Texas to that all girls fish event and left it a changed little girl. She had such a positive experience, not only like getting out of her shell with the adults and the guides, but also interacting with the other youth there. So to be able to make that impact in the lives of others is what keeps me going, is what keeps me coming back time and time again to the river. So I find myself here today wanting to leave my legacy, for lack of better words. You know, I don't have money to leave to a nonprofit. You know, I'm only 38 years old. I've just started my life, and getting a stage 4 cancer diagnosis, you know, I really wanted there to be something for when I am gone, for my husband and my parents and my colleagues and all of the incredible people in the fly fishing community to look back on and say, you know what, Becca made a difference. Becca made a difference in my life. And I can say that and know that that's going to be there. And that brings me so much peace, knowing that I have impacted the lives of others.
Thank you, Jimmy, for those beautiful words. And you will hear from Becca in just a moment, but Jason and I want to take a moment to recognize the incredible contribution that Becca has made to the organization. Becca has been with us for 12 years, which is a huge record in the development community. And when I first met Becca, I knew she was very passionate. Anybody who knows her knows that she is strong-willed, she is a fighter, and she loves Chattahoochee Riverkeeper and all of the people within the family dearly. Interestingly, when I first met her and she first came to the organization, I think it was more about the passion for community and public interest service, nonprofit service that really drove her. And then as the years went on and she met Jimmy and Justin and became an avid fly fisher, it became so much more than that. And her passion for the organization just blossomed even more. And so for all the reasons that you heard Jimmy say, and all of your personal interactions with her over the years, and in light of her diagnosis and everything that she's going through, our board wanted to make a big statement and to show our appreciation for her contribution. And so tonight we are announcing that the all-girls fish is named in her honor. It will be the Becca K. Powell All-Girls Fish, and we will host that event every year with dedicated funds for that event every year in her honor.
And I think a lot of you know that I'm an avid fisherman myself. I've been fishing the Chattahoochee since I was 3 or 4 years old. And I've learned how important it is to establish a personal connection with your local environment, with your local river, and how impactful that can be as you grow. I would not be on the stage right now if it wasn't for fishing. And what Becca's doing is also teaching us that it's not just a guy thing. It's for everybody. And this is how we grow and teach the next generation of river keepers. And we're just so proud of Becca's leadership and developing this program.
Thank you, Jimmy. Woo. Thank you, everyone. You usually see me up here with a bunch of adorable children, so sorry that that's not happening this year. You got me. In March of 2020, about a week after the entire world shut down from a global pandemic, I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. While everyone else was figuring out the new normal, if you will, of a global pandemic, I was figuring that out along with how I was going to move forward with my life given an advanced cancer diagnosis. And I am standing up here today to tell you how incredibly grateful I am that I have had our beloved Chattahoochee River for the past 18 months. I found myself headed to the river when I was at my lowest points. When I was out with those waters flowing past me, I wasn't thinking about cancer. I wasn't thinking about doctor's visits or treatment or doctor's bills. It truly was my safe space. Jimmy Harris, when we met, he said something to me that has always stuck in my mind. He said, "You'll never find better therapy than standing in a stream with your fly rod in your hand." And that has held so true for me. We all have a connection to the river. Raise your hand if you are out fishing or have been out fishing in the Chattahoochee. Yes. I know my friend and CRK board member, Gerard Gunthert, enjoys mountain biking along the many trails on the CRNRA. Paul Range over here, my good friend from Orvis, takes his kids out with Chris Scally, River Through Atlanta, teaches them how to fly fish. And we also have the Seidel's here and my friend John R. Can we get John R. a microphone? Up. Come up here, John R. Oh, here we go. All right. John R., tell us, why do you return to the river?
I returned to the river because that's where all life on land started. I returned to the river because, as Becca was saying, it's therapy. And I think all of us can use a little bit of therapy these days. The river is life. We are 70% water. And to be able to reunite, no matter what stage we are, no matter how young we are, no matter how old we are, to be able to reunite with that source where all life came from is spiritual. Deeply spiritual. And that's why I go back to the river, besides catching big fish.
Thank you, John R. John R. was an intern when I first started with Chattahoochee Riverkeeper, and I remember driving him up to our floating classroom on Lake Lanier. It has been an incredible 12 years. And let me tell you what, if we didn't have organizations like Chattahoochee Riverkeeper keeping watch over our waters day in and day out, we wouldn't have this incredible resource to go back to, this incredible resource to find peace, to experience that spirituality that John R. just spoke about. The way that the light pierces through the trees in the morning, the way the caddis dance over water at dusk. It truly is beautiful. So I invite everyone to dig deep and open your wallets, because we cannot do this important work without the support of our friends and our CRK family. And that's every single one of you out there in this room tonight and every single one of you watching from home. So with that, I would like to welcome to the stage the one, the only, Mr. Dean Crownover.
Becca Powell, everybody. Okay. This is the most important part of the night. The next 5 minutes. Don't go to the restroom, don't go to the bar. The next 5 minutes at home, here in the room, we call it Fund the Future. We want to see how much we can raise in 5 minutes to keep this beautiful river going. And we want to do it in Becca's honor. So here, yes, please. Now, there are 3 ways that we're going to do this. If you're here in the stave room, everybody grab the paddles that you were giving with your bidder number. Everybody hold up those bidder numbers to me real quick. Everybody hold them up. Come on, hold them up. Put them down. Hold it up. Put it down. One more time. Hold it up. Put it down. You each gave 25 grand. It's done. I'm going to call out some levels. When you hear a level you're comfortable at, just up your bidder number. I'm going to call it out. We're going to write it down, put it on your tab tonight. Now, that's if you're in the room. If you are watching from home, all you have to do is when you see the amount that you want to give, you'll see a button. It'll pop up. Hit that. We're going to find out between you both here in the room and at home how much we can raise in 5 minutes. But I want to bring back Juliet. Where are you? Juliet, over here. Give us a little bit more lights up here, please, because what we're going to do is we're going to tell you more about how your gift, how your donations really will make a difference, right? Where'd your mic go? Becca, oh, there we go. Becca took the mic.
Sorry.
Now, let's start with $5,000. So $5,000, and it can help with the Trash Trap program. Say that 3 times fast. So, Trash Trap program. Tell us what that is.
So our Trash Trap program is a device that we install in creeks and tributaries to the river to trap the trash before it actually gets down the river or even all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. We can't have volunteers in the field Monday through Sunday, but we can have a device in there so every time it rains, we're stopping all the floatables like bottles and cups and tennis balls and basketballs and soccer balls and everything that you might find on the sidewalk. After it rained, it goes right into the creek.
So these traps are holding how much? Can you guess how many pounds a year?
So right now we have 8 trash traps and each one is stopping hundreds of pounds of trash every year. And then we also take the recyclables out of those and separate them.
So $5,000, and correct me if I'm wrong, can buy a trash trap.
That's right. You can buy a trash trap or it can help us maintain one of the 8 that are already installed in the stream.
And you need more though, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So $5,000, and I am happy to announce that there is an anonymous giver, maybe in the room, maybe not, probably, that just gave $5,000. Give he or she a big round of applause. Did anybody in the room want to join them or at home hit that $5,000? If you want to give $5,000 right now, hold up your bidder number. Anybody?
Yes.
Number
Awesome.
119 just gave 5,000.
Thank you.
Number 205 just gave 5,000. That's 2 more. You know, everybody wants to buy a trash trap. It's on the wish list. It's on. It is. You can wear it. It's very nice. I saw somebody wearing it at the Met Gala the other night. Give both of them a huge round of applause.
Thank you.
All right. 2,500. Now, we just heard about the all-girls fish, the Becca K. Powell all-girls fish. So, Juliet, tell us a little bit more about what that $2,500 can help do for that.
Well, the $2,500 is going to help support the 40 young women that you heard are going to be joining us on October 23rd up on the river. It includes transportation. They're each going to come away with a fly rod and a reel from Orvis. So they're all going to go home with the equipment to continue fishing. So it's not a one-time thing and it can become a hobby for their lifetime.
So $2,500 will help with this, but wait, there is more. We want to do something fun. At home, the first person at home and the first person in the room to hold up your bidder number to give $2,500 or hit the button at $2,500 at home will get, Juliet, tell us what we have.
a signed copy of Down by the River. It's a children's book written by Andrew Weiner and illustrated by April Chu. And these are signed copies by the author. Favorite children's book.
Number 173, it's yours for giving
Thank you.
2,500. Kendall, do we have anybody online giving 2,500? Come on online, you can do it. Who else wants to donate at 2,500? Number 177.
Awesome.
118. Anybody else at 2,500? Now, if we don't get somebody at 2,500 by the time we're done with this, we're going to give it to one of these guys. Number 164 just gave 2,500. Ooh, if I did that right, that's 10 grand, I think.
Awesome.
Let's talk about $1,000. 1,000. That's for the neighborhood water watch.
Yes.
Is that where people walk down the street at night looking for water, or what? What is that?
Actually, I think there are some Water Watch volunteers in the room today. If you're a Water Watch volunteer, raise your hand real quick. Awesome. I collected my samples today too. So Neighborhood Water Watch is a program that we've been running for 11 years now. And it's made up of volunteers from all over the watershed. We have 200 stations, all of the watershed from the lakes, the river, and creeks, and 125 volunteers are bringing us water samples once a week from each of those stations. We process and analyze all that data in our laboratories. We have professional laboratories with professional staff in each of the 3 offices, and we're able to find hotspots of pollution. And then our staff go out in waders, jump in the creeks, and find the sources. So over the 11 years, we have found more than 100 sewage spills and stopped them, which is billions of gallons of raw sewage that is not going into our river, not going into our drinking water, and the communities downstream.
So, your $1,000, and it helps cover the one station, the supplies and the
That's
testing
right.
and all that, right?
Yes, we do the training, we give them the supplies, and then of course we have the laboratories that we have to sustain.
You got somebody? Mr.
Awesome.
Clay Courts just gave $1,000, ladies and gentlemen. Now join him. Who wants to give $1,000? Hold up that bidder number.
Awesome.
Turn the numbers my way. 206, 199,
Thank you.
197,
Thank you.
201. Come on, who else will join him at $1,000? Give all 4 of. Wait, stop. 180. 148. Kendall, do we have anybody online I need to recognize? Give all of them. Wait, stop. 139. Woo. Anybody else? Now give them a thunderous round of applause. All right. 3 more levels. That's it. 3 more levels. $500. Your gift of $500. Now, this is called the Chattahoochee Aquatic Sensor System Integrated, or chassis. Tell us what chassis is.
The Cassie, yes. The
Cassie.
The Cassie is a piece of technology that we have developed over the past 7 years, and it's a remote water sensor. So when we are not out collecting samples on a Thursday, driving them to the laboratory, we actually have devices that are installed in creeks, and they are reading data every 15 minutes. They're relaying that data through digital airwaves and sending it to our staff, who are looking and combing through that, identifying any abnormalities and maybe a pollution spot. So we have designed this technology, gleaming information from all various sorts, federal agencies, private companies, and it's really a one-of-a-kind program. And the more we have in the field, the more we can learn and identify hotspots along the way.
Okay, so how many do you have now?
Right now we have 8.
How many do you want?
We would like to have 25.
And 500 on each of these buys one. Is that
Buys
correct?
1 basic Cassie. That is
Cassie.
correct.
Okay, so you've got 8. We want 25 in total. So Courtney Braswell and Michael Hahn couldn't be here tonight. They're each given 500. That's 2 out of 25,
Correct. Yes.
right? Or
10.
10 out of
Yeah,
25.
That's right.
We need 15 more. Who's going to donate $500? Let's hold it up. Let's buy a Cassie. Come on, you want a Cassie. 106, 141, 239, 109. Ironically, her name is Cassie. 178, 177. How many is that? How many is that? And do we have any online? We need more Cassies. You cannot have enough Cassie. 201. They make great curlers for your hair. How many you got? Any more? How many is that? How many is that in total? Just raise 7 more. With the 2, 9 more. Carry the 1. We need more. So at some point, if you want to keep giving, and especially if you are at home right now, buy a Cassie, buy a Cassie, buy a Cassie. All right, $250. Oh, you saw the video. I just love the title of this. Bacteria alert, one word. I love it. It's like an infomercial I would watch late at night. The bacteria alert. I want to buy it. Tell us what it is.
Well, you saw the video. Bacteria Alert is a program where we collect water samples from 3 locations within the Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area. These are highly visible, highly recreated areas, and that information is shared with the National Park Service, U.S. Geological Survey. It's uploaded to a public website, and anybody who wants to go recreate in the river, let's say you want to go stand up paddleboard or go for a swim, jump off a rock, whatever you want to do, you'll know if it's safe and clean to get in the river.
So go ahead, give her love, give her love.
There's 3 stations.
Wait, so there's 3 stations and they're collecting how many
Every
samples?
week. Every week we go out. You saw the video where Jess goes to each bridge, collects a sample. We bring that sample to the U.S. Geological Survey. It's processed.
And so the 250 can help keep this program
Yes, it'll help
all year
maintain
round.
this program.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. And it's critical. It's been going on 25 or 20 years, and people really depend on it.
So let's keep it going. 2 people just gave, Frederica Scruggs and Michelle, and forgive me if I get your name wrong, Lieber Giselle. I believe that's it. If not, it is now. Let's give both of them a big round of applause. Who will join at 250? Come on, I want to start over here. 210. Everybody can do this. 149. 165. Call out some numbers. Call out some numbers.
181, 138, 130, 122, 176, 150. This is fun.
200.
200.
Right.
Did you get 200?
I did. Call that one.
153.
But you got to switch mic and then do your other hand.
Ah,
Yeah, that's how the pros do it. Anybody else at 250? Wait, hold on. Give me a name. Bill, Gabe, and Andrew. Thank you very much. We're looking at the camera. They're not back there. Is that it? Give everybody who just gave at 250 a huge round of applause. Now, 1 level left. That's it. Because this is all we're doing tonight, this and the silent auction. We're not going to make you sit through a live auction or any more of me. It's just this last donation, the $100. Now, this one is going to be fun. First of all, you didn't think $100 could do much. It can. And this level is called Trash Free Chattahoochee. Now, this is crazy. How much will their $100 gift, how many pounds of junk will that take out of that river?
It'll help us remove 10 pounds of trash.
10 pounds of trash, your $100. So tell us a little bit more about that.
So we are running volunteer trash cleanup events 2 times every month, at least 2 times every month. And that's where I mentioned we've already removed 55 tons just this year. We're only in September. We've brought out, I think the number is like 1,896 volunteers so far this year. It is a record, but it takes staff, insurance, porta potties, dumpsters, first aid kits, trash bags, pickers, all that stuff to put on an event to clean up our river. So the $100 is going to help us remove 10 pounds of trash in that process.
And I want to say that Bonnie Putney and couldn't be here, but she gave $100, and our own Pam Rosenthal, who is here in the room doing check-in, check-out, gave $100. Now, here's what I want to do. We're going to give a prize to the last person in the room who gives at $100. But wait, if you're at home, you're saying, well, what about my prize? We're going to do two different things. Kendall is going to do a drawing for anybody at home who gives $100. Your prize at home will be a $100 Orvis gift card. Let's give Orvis a big round of applause. So Kendall's watching that, but in the room, the last person I call who gives $100 is going to win. Look at this. Cold, hard booze. In my hand, Maker's Mark, 101 proof, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. And you know why it's awesome? It's in a box. Now, there is only one bottle of this in the world. In this room right now. Ooh, all right, I'm gonna hand this to you. I want you to model it. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that. Hold it to the audience. You need to be professional. Did you do your nails? Because you're a hand model. Now, ladies and gentlemen, literally, Maker's Mark took gold. They melted it down and put it in that bottle. I read online. Thank you for the one applause, Becca. This bottle is worth $1 billion. Now, here's how it's going to work. Everybody who can donate $100, and I know almost everybody can because that's like a week at Starbucks for us, so that's easy, right? So everybody who can, just hold up your bidder number. I'm going to start calling off your number. Thank you for your donation. Now, here's the cool part. If I call you out early, you can give again and again and again. But the last person I call wins. But every time you raise, it's $100 for the Riverkeeper. Do you understand? Say yes. At home, you just keep giving because you're going to be put in a drawing. All right. Everybody who's going to donate $100 to win this bottle, hold up your bidder number right now. I need to see all the drinkers in the room right now. And they're all in the back. How weird. All right, let's see. Man, 152, holding it low. I see everything. So 152. All right, put it down. You just gave. 177. Keep them up. 149. 172. Everybody here's 125. 163. He doesn't even drink at work anymore. 104. 211. Stop it. We need to sweeten the pot. We need to add to this. Becca, what else do we have? Becca went to her car, apparently, that she keeps in the trunk. And what did you bring? Ooh, Paul Roger. Look at that, fine champagne here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a reserve Brut from 1849, apparently. The box alone, $6 million. Thank you for not helping. Now, we're going to add this. I don't know if you can open that, but we're going to add that to the whiskey, all right? This is it. What was the last bidder number I called, guys? What was the last bidder number? 211, where are you? Technically, you're the owner. Unless somebody outgives you. And at home, same thing. Going once, unless somebody else gives. Going twice, unless somebody else gives. 106. Damn, it's the whole table. Hold on. 102. 103. 200. 122. I got 200. I got, 201, the goal's to be last, right? 201. 172. Uh-oh. 178. I gotta finish this up. We gotta be done by 8. 125 again. Face it this way. 177 for like the millionth time. 107, where the hell did you come from? 102 again, going once, going twice. 120. Oh, you're both at the same table. This is going to get really weird. 177. 201. 107. 180. 130. Ladies and gentlemen, 143. 177. Sold!
Gerard Gunther, you're a winner.
Wait a second. Now, 177. First of all, let's give a round of applause to everybody who just gave and at home. Now, 177. This is normally when I come and bring you the booze. We're going to wait for your credit card to clear first. All right, did everybody have a good time? Now, let's find out how much we raised. Hold on one second. Let's find out how much we raised. And before I do, just don't forget, we're going to keep the Fund a Future online, open for a week. Please, at home, here, send it to anybody that you think wants to help our river. And the silent auction closes at 7:55. Do I have a number? Ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, sir. Ladies and gentlemen. Come here.
What do we got?
You raised.
Wow.
Does this include everything online? Okay. To date, and we're going to keep it open another week, but you raised at home right now in this room in the last 5 minutes. Juliet, tell us.
$43,630.
Make some beautiful noise.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And that is that.
I think I need it, don't I? Hey, I've got a surprise auction item. I talked to Rebecca Stewart, that owns the world famous Brigadoon, and she said for Becca, Riverkeeper, you'll do anything. And she was so moved when I previewed what was going to happen here tonight. Rebecca, she said, I want to donate my place in the river up here catching. I've been there. You're going to catch like 10-pound, 12-pound, huge trout on the Soquee River. Okay, thank you, honey. And so I shouldn't do this. You should do this. But let's have an auction. It was for 4 fishermen.
Oh wait, okay.
Fisher women.
So that is item number 500. Everybody drop item number 500 in the silent, right?
Yes.
You're adding it to that, correct?
Yes.
That
as guided. It's a guided fishing.
It's guided by Becca. So it's the Becca Powell
You want to say anything?
package. Yeah. You want to add to that?
I do want to say thank you because I've never fished a Brigadoon before. So who's going to join me?
Oh, and you get to join Becca on top of it. Wow, I'm a bidder.
So we got rods and reels in that, and you're adding
rods, reels. I'm adding whatever y'all want me to add. It's
a brand new
Becca,
car
I
is
can't
what
do
we want
anything
you
more
to
than
do.
Becca is what I'm doing. But what?
So we also have a special edition from our friends at the Orvis Company are going to throw in a Helios 3 fly rod and Mirage reel. So this is I'm not a car person, but Ferrari, Lamborghini of fly rods.
Wow.
All right, so that's 500. Thank you. Everybody, Rutherford Seidel, give him another big round of applause. And now it's time for our River Guardian Award. Jason, Juliet, who's on this one?
Is it not on? There we go. Thanks, team. So thank you all so much for your generosity. We cannot do this important work without the support of each and every one of you. We also cannot do this work without the partnerships in our corporate world and our local communities. So every year we have the honor of selecting a few very special organizations or people or companies that go above and beyond to support their river. And now we're going to watch a video heading into our honorees.
During the past year, I went to the river to escape the craziness of everything going on.
To take a deep breath.
When I return to the river, I feel pure bliss.
Return to the river.
With Chattahoochee Riverkeeper.
The Chattahoochee River is near and dear to our hearts. When I started Noonan Paddlers about 10 and 11 years ago, the group has grown from a small group of 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 people that would come out on a regular basis to paddle the Chattahoochee to upwards of 800 paddlers are now members of the group.
Working with Noonan Paddlers and Chattahoochee Riverkeeper, it's been a great kind of natural connection relationship. For one, getting people out on the water to paddle, but then once those folks have kind of experienced the river, learned to appreciate it, they've been able to volunteer with Chattahoochee Riverkeeper to do water monitoring, cleanups. So it's been a really great partnership that we look forward to continuing.
Since CRK has come along and the river has had this revitalization and relife brought to it with the cleanups and with the neighborhood water watch, the wildlife is tremendous. We have beavers, we have otters, we have eagles, osprey, you name it. We find all of it along the Chattahoochee River. It's our honor to be represented in this way. I'm looking forward to future years of paddling on the Hooch. I hope that our membership continues to grow and we continue to help out with the CRK mission.
Orbis is a family company, and we've always believed in this idea that if we're going to benefit from our natural resources, we must be willing to act to protect them. Chattahoochee Riverkeeper, they're doing the really important work every single day. And for Orbis, our goal is to support their efforts to protect and improve this unique watershed so people always have the Hooch as a source of outdoor connection and inspiration.
The Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area has been named one of the top 100 trout fisheries in the entire country, and the Orbis Company has stepped up in a big way to protect it. Through their Down the Hatch Fly Fishing Film Festival and Quality Hooch campaign, they have raised more than $150,000 to help monitor this river to not only protect it for the fishing community, but to also protect it for the 5 million people that depend on it for their drinking water.
The Quality Hooch campaign and the partnership with Chattahoochee Riverkeeper has helped raise awareness around the uniqueness of the resource and has helped to build a community of conservationists around it. It's a truly inspiring story of locally driven conservation.
Because of the Orbis Company's commitment to protecting the Chattahoochee River, we are proud to honor them with the River Guardian Award.
The efforts around this honor are only possible because of great work and collaboration between Chattahoochee Riverkeeper, the Orbis team here in Atlanta, and the greater Atlanta community. And at the end of the day, the more people who love this resource, the greater the opportunity there is to protect it.
Congratulations to tonight's honorees. Thank you so much for your support of our beautiful river.
Please welcome David Kirkpatrick, co-chair of the Chattahoochee Riverkeeper Board of Directors.
A big thank you to Encyclomedia for producing that wonderful video about this year's honorees. And Encyclomedia has been such a great partner to the organization for a long time. Round of applause for Encyclomedia. Good evening. I'm Dave Kirkpatrick, co-chair of the board of directors of the Chattahoochee Riverkeeper. And thank you. And I'm pleased to be with you here tonight to present this year's River Guardian Award to the Orvis Company. For nearly a decade, the Orvis Company has encouraged its customers and the larger angling community to support the Chattahoochee Riverkeeper's water quality programs. Not only does our Chattahoochee River provide drinking water for more than 5 million people, but it is the South's most thriving trout fishery, enjoyed by millions of fly anglers and outdoor enthusiasts each year. Beginning with the Down the Hatch Fly Fishing Film Festival and continuing with the Quality Hooch campaign, Orvis has raised more than $150,000 to support Chattahoochee Riverkeeper's Bacteria Alert, Neighborhood Water Watch, and Trash-Free Chattahoochee programs. And the organization was key in helping to launch our remote water sensor program known as the CASSI. And that deserves an applause, $150,000. This collaboration has brought hundreds of new members to the Chattahoochee Riverkeeper through events and outreach opportunities and connected thousands of river users who care about the future of our waterways. The Orvis Company understands that giving back to the community that it serves is just as important as its bottom line. In May of this year, during a month-long Orvis Give Back Days program, the local stores at Orvis Alpharetta and Orvis Atlanta raised $13,000 for the Chattahoochee Riverkeeper's water quality work in the Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area. But the Orvis Company did not stop there. Orvis is leading its industry in diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Orvis leads with its 50-50 on the Water campaign that aims to encourage more women to participate in the sport of fly fishing. Orvis is also a founding partner for the Becca Pay Pal All Girls Fish, which everybody learned about this evening. In recognition of Orvis's commitment to support our programs and the diverse communities that live, work, and play in the Chattahoochee watershed, I am honored to present this year's River Guardian Award to the Orvis Company. Accepting the award for Orvis will be Mr. Paul Range.
Thank you. It's an honor to be receiving the River Guardian Award on behalf of Orvis. I also just realized it's been about 2 years since I've been in front of a group this big. I don't think teams count, so it's a little different. I'll be honest and a little ashamed that the reason we started the Quality Hooch campaign about 5 years ago was after we came to the realization that we weren't doing enough to support this amazing resource in the Chattahoochee River, especially since we as a company benefit from it so much from a recreational aspect and from the amazing fishery it is. We're of course extremely proud of our retail stores in Atlanta, Buckhead, and also in Alpharetta for the amount that they have raised for CRK, but we're also equally impressed and proud of the support from our customers and their amazing generosity, as well as our local partners, Orvis local partners, Unicoi Outfitters, and River Through Atlanta, their generosity and support as well. Many of our customers I've noticed in the room tonight. Jimmy Harris with Unicoi Outfitters is obviously here. Chris Scally, owner of River Through Atlanta, is here. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of you for all of your support in helping the Quality Hooch campaign be successful. But over the past 5 years, what I've been most impressed with, after getting a peek behind the curtain into all the work that CRK does on a day-to-day basis to protect our amazing river, is how talented the group at CRK is. It's amazing how many different hats that they wear on a regular basis. The success of the Quality Hooch campaign, it all belongs to Becca Powell and the work that she has put into it. We took an idea, but she took that idea and turned it into the success story it is today. So with that, it is an honor to receive this award as a company, but really we should be honoring CRK and all the work that they do. So thank you guys very much for all you do for the river. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Henry Jacobs, Middle Chattahoochee Director for Chattahoochee Riverkeeper.
All right. I'm delighted to present this year's River Steward Award to the Noonan Paddlers. This is a group of people that love to spend time on our river, the creeks and the lakes as well. And more importantly, since 2011, the Noonan Paddlers have provided a safe place for people who are new to paddling and looking for help. The group leaders, including co-founders John Sinker and Tom Parker, have years of experience on the water that they generously share with the newcomers. Today, the group has over 800 members, 16 people on the leadership team. They're a force for good, whether it's bringing people out to experience the river or get involved with CRK, like trash cleanups and water monitoring. And this is made all the more important because of the revitalization of the Chattahoochee River downstream of Atlanta. So all the communities like Noonan, like LaGrange, West Point, on down to Columbus. And while group leaders aren't able to be with us this evening, I'm honored, and I hope y'all will join me to present the River Steward Award to the Noonan Paddlers. Thank you.
All right, now we're coming near our end here. Now, a little housekeeping. So we were going to close the silent auction at 7:55, but we're a little behind, right? But for a good reason. That A, the giving was fantastic during the Fund of Future, but I guess as predicted, item number 500 has a bidding. Oh, it was a bidding war, and about 2 seconds ago, go ahead and explain it.
About 2 seconds ago, we have a winner of the trip for 4 at Brigadoon on the Soquee. We got Jane and Barb. Woo! Oh, but wait. Our founding board chair, Mr. Rutherford Seidel, has offered a second trip. And our friends at the Orvis Company have donated a second H3 fly rod and Mirage reel. So, do we have anyone in the room who would like to bid for those at $2,500?
So meaning you can buy it at $2,500, but you're going to still take them out. It's a duplicate package, right? Who do we got? Do we have anybody?
I think we got someone back there.
Hold up your bidder number. Wait, there it is. Call out your bidder number. I can't see it. 200 just bought it at $2,500. Give both of those winners.
Yes.
Give Rutherford, give everybody a huge round of applause. Orvis, everybody. All right.
So now I get to go fishing twice. So I think I'm the winner of the night.
You are, and you're going to be working a lot in a minute with the doing those two guided things. Okay, Here, this is it. The Fund of Future will be open for another week. Pass that around. All the winners here in the room, you can pick up your items at checkout, and the online winners, you're going to be contacted in the next few days. Did everybody have a good time tonight? Are you happy that you're going to be home before 9 o'clock? Juliet, Jason, take us home.
Well, before we say goodbye, we just wanted to share a few last items with you. First of all, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I know for many of us, this was the first night out in an event like this in quite some time. So we appreciate you being here in the room with us, and everybody at home, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate your presence and all of your generous gifts. We have two parting gifts we want to make sure that you go home with.
One is a oversized metal water growler that has our brand new logo engraved right on it, donated by our friends at Reduce. They're going to be right here at the door. Make sure you grab one on your way out.
And make sure you grab one of our new stickers. You can put it on your growler or one of your water bottles that Reduce has given us in the past. I know they're your favorites, so grab those two items before you leave. And the drum roll, please. All of your donations, all of our sponsorships, all of our ticket sales, silent auction, live here tonight, we raised $432,615 for Chattahoochee River Keeper. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. Everybody have a wonderful night and drive safely.
Wow. That's awesome. Okay.